بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وخاتم النبيين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وآله وصحبه أجمعين ومن تبعهم إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: إن أحسن الحديث كتاب الله وأحسن الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. Welcome to all of you with Islamic greetings. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May peace on you and mercy of Allah and His blessings to you. Alhamdulillah, it is a great blessing that we are Muslims and also we born in the Ummah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and also Allah revealed the glorious Quran on Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and that book is a book of the guidance for the mankind up till the day of the judgment. Allah told in the Quran in Surah Al-Hijr, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Inna nahnu nazzalna dhikra wa inna lahu lahafizun. The nearest meaning of this ayat, indeed we revealed dhikr. Dhikr means Quran. Wa inna ilayhi lahafizun. And we are its protector. Allah is the guardian of the book. So now it is, Alhamdulillah, all Muslims have the copies of the Quran. And in the world, the Quran is that book which is the most commonly read. The most commonly read book in the world is the Quranic Hakim. But at the same time, it is that type of the book which most of the people, they are reading that book without any understanding. They are reading, Alhamdulillah, it is a great blessing to read the Quran, but it is also, when we are understanding the Quran, it is also important thing. For a common Muslim, if you say, for example, if I say, my brother is learning the Quran, so immediately the idea comes in our minds, either he is doing the recitation of the Quran, or maybe he is memorizing the Quran. So generally we are understanding it is only for talawa and only for hifz the Quran is there. But we are forget that basically this book need to be understand. Okay, understanding is most important thing. So how we can get the understanding? There is a very important ayah in the Quran. It is Surah Ali Imran. وَلْتَكُمْ مِنْكُمْ أُمَّةٌ يَدْعُونَ إِلَى الْخَيْرِ وَيَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَيَنْحَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. Allah is telling in this ayah who are the successful. وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. who are the successful people? Among you, there should be group, there should be a ummah. That ummah is doing three things. يَدْعُونَ إِلَى الْخَيْرِ. They are giving invitation for khair. What is khair? Khair means Quran and Sunnah. وَيَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. And they are enjoining for the goods. وَيَنْحَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ. And they are forbidding from the munkar. For the successful people, they have to perform three things. One is يَدْعُونَ إِلَى الْخَيْرِ. Inviting towards khair. Khair means Quran and Sunnah. وَيَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. And enjoin for the good and forbidding from the evil. But these all things are only possible if we are understanding the Quran, when we are reading the Quran, at that time, if we know what is the meaning of these words, so then inshallah we can perform these things in more good way. It is a common question. I wrote over the board a question today. The question is, how much effort have I made to understand the Holy Quran in my life? It is a question for everyone. For first, this question is for me, then for other people. How much effort have I made to understand the Holy Quran? During our life, we are learning so much type of the sciences, so much knowledge, so much technologies we are getting, and every person can think about for 1 minute how much effort I have exerted for understanding the Holy Quran. So basically, it is this talk today, it is a motivational talk. The motivational talk means this talk will motivate you something. So when this lecture will be finished, at the end of the lecture, you have to develop your some strategic planning, strategic thinking, how we can achieve this thing. So inshallah we will try to motivate this idea so that we will be try to understand the Quran, so that we can get maximum blessings of the Quran. So inshallah today this thing is only introduction for that. So inshallah after that we will try to start the ayat by ayat, the grammatical analysis of the Quran. Okay, until we are not knowing the grammar, we not knowing the Arabic language, how we can get the maximum benefit from that. So inshallah in future we will do ayat by ayat, to pray from Allah that Allah will make easy for us that we can continue it. Definitely for the Quran it is a long task. So inshallah up till that life we have, so inshallah we will try to achieve as much as possible. But we have to pray from Allah that Allah will make easy for us that we can make to continue in the future. Today's talk has different outline, little bit outline is that. First is the question, how much effort have I made to understand the Holy Quran? Or inshallah, so from today, so we have to make some strategic thinking, how much remaining life I have to do the effort so I that understand the Quran, so then we can act upon the Quran, and also act upon, so then we will transmit this information so that we will be successful in this world and in the hereafter. Ameen, summa ameen. After this question, I divided this talk into different parts. The first part is gratitude to Allah. Other part is greatness of the Holy Quran, understanding of the Holy Quran, and why study Quranic Arabic. On these subtopics, we will talk today. The first topic is gratitude to Allah. Okay, it is a great blessing that Allah gave us opportunity today that we can talk about the glorious book. So, there is one ayat in Surah Al-Inam. Qul inna hudallahi huwal huda. Say, indeed, the guidance of Allah is the only guidance. Yani Allah is only who can guide you for good things. To try to memorize this part of this ayat. This ayat is repeated also in Surah Al-Baqarah, and also it is repeated in Al-Inam. Qul inna hudallahi huwal huda. Say, indeed, the guidance of the Allah is the only guidance. After that, we write the other ayat. This ayat is from Surah Al-Iraab. Basically, when the Jannati, when the people will reach in the paradise, they were successful people at that time. Okay, they are successful, they attained their target. But still at that time, those people will thank to Allah Jalla Shanahu. Allah, you guided us. So then we are able to reach at this point. But if you are not guided, then we are unable to reach at this point. وَقَالُوا الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ الَّذِي هَدَانَا لِهَذَا وَمَا كُنَّا لِنَهْتَدِيَ لَوْلَا أَنْ هَدَانَا لِهَذَا. We have you to thankful today that Allah gave us this opportunity for short minutes, for few minutes, we are talking about the Quranul Hakim. It is a great blessing of Allah, so we have to thankful for Allah for this. If I am speaking, if any person is watching, if any person is listening, all these things are possible with the blessing of Allah Jalla Shanahu. We have to be thankful for that. So in that way, these two ayats which I mentioned here about the gratitude of Allah. قُلْ إِنَّ هُدَى اللَّهِ هُوَ الْهُدَى وَقَالُوا الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ الَّذِي هَدَانَا لِهَذَا وَمَا كُنَّا لِنَهْتَدِيَ لَوْلَا أَنْ هَدَانَا لِهَذَا. The next point is the greatness of the Holy Quran. Alhamdulillah, we are the Muslims. Every Muslim is know what is the importance of the Quran, what is the greatness of the Quran. If you try to quote the ayats of the Quran, there are many ayat for that, we can quote for that. But only for our time here, I quoted few ayats here. Basically, what is the importance of the Quran in our life? There is one ayat, it is in Surah Baqarah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Shahru Ramadan alladhi unzila fihi al-Qur'ana hudan lin-nasi wa bayyinatin min al-huda wal-furqan. In this ayat, Allah has mentioned the Quran is revealed in the month of Ramadan. And the Quran is Hudal Linnas. This Hudal Linnas means that it is the guidance for the mankind. guidance for the mankind. It is not only for the one territory, one area, not on one generation. No. Allah is telling that this Quran is hudal linnas. It is the guidance for the mankind. Bayyinatim minal huda. And the clear signs of hidayah. Wal furqan. Furqan means criteria. Criteria between how we can differentiate between the truth and the untruth. This is very important ayah in the Quran. This Quran is the guidance for the mankind. وَبَيِّنَاتٍ مِّنَ الْهُدَى. And all signs are clear how you can differentiate the guidance. And also wal furqan. It is a criterion for that. How you will differentiate what is good, what is bad. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Another ayat in Surah Al-Baqarah. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. It is that type of book in which there is not any type of the doubt. And this book is guidance for the muttaqeen. Then Allah is telling in Surah Ibrahim, the first ayat of the Surah Ibrahim, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Alif Lam Ra, Kitabun anzalnahu ilayka لِتُخْرِجَ النَّاسَ مِنَ الظُّلُمَاتِ إِلَى النُّورِ. And it is that type of the book, the mankind coming out of the darknesses towards Noor with this knowledge. Here Allah used for the zulumat, plural here. Plural. مِنَ الظُّلُمَاتِ, from the darknesses. Darknesses. The human being is involved in the darknesses. But the teaching of this book, they can come ilan nur, towards nur. It means that the Quran is hudal lin nas, hudal lil muttaqeen, and a path towards the nur. It is the greatness of the Quran. Next topic is understanding of the Quran. When this book is so much great, so much benefits we are getting, but how we can get the understanding of the Quran? In the Quran, Allah revealed different ayats. That ayats are mentioned, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ. You may understand. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَفَكَّرُونَ. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَفَكَّرُونَ. Yani Allah saying, you can understand. You can get the advice. You can ponder it. You can ponder it. Sometime لَعَلَّهُمْ يَفْقَهُونَ. They will understand. لَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. They will get the advice from it. Yani from these all ayats, I mentioned all surah and the ayat number. If anybody like to check it, it will be more beneficial for them. Yani in all these ayats, Allah is telling us, تَعْقِلُونَ, تَفَكَّرُونَ, تَتَفَكَّرُونَ, يَفْقَهُونَ, يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. Try to understand it. Try to get the advice from the Quran. Ponder the Quran. But all these things are only possible when we are understanding it. Normally the two terminology are used. One is called Tafakkurul Quran. Other is called Tadabburul Quran. Tafakkurul Quran you can get by superficial understanding. But as concerned about the Tafakkurul Quran, which is really called pondering, the pondering is only possible if you have thorough knowledge of that words, of that statement. But Allah is giving us you have to do these things. Also, there is an ayat in the Surah As-Sad. That ayat is telling, Kitabun anzalnahu ilayka mubarakun liyudabbaru ayatihi waliyatafakkara ulul albab. This book is Mubarak. It is a blessed book. Blessed book. But first Allah mentioned the importance of the book. Those people which were pondering the Yudabbaru, they are pondering this book. They are thinking about that book. Only those people which are people of understanding, they are getting the advice from this book. From all these things are needed understanding, they need getting the advice from the Quran, also need to ponder the Quran. All these things, tadabbur, tafakkur, fahm, all these things are required. We should know the language of the Quran. Until we are not understanding the language of the Quran, the proper understanding is not possible. Sometimes people are saying, I already read the translation. But definitely the translation people are reading, these translations are not the 100% of the Quran. For example, if I say, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, it is the Quran which I am reading. If I say all praise and thanks to Allah, it is translation. It is not the Quran. So due to that reason, until we are not understanding the language, the Arabic language, so then how we can understand the Quran in that situation? All these things are given us initiative. We have to learn these things for that. Also at the other time, we can talk about the miracle. The miracle, Allah blessed with prophets with different types of the miracle. Hazrat Salih alayhi salam has miracle, Hazrat Musa alayhi salam has miracle, Hazrat Isa alayhi salam has miracle, and Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam has the miracle. But the major miracle of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam is the Holy Quran. He has different miracles, Shaqqul Qamar, these other types of the miracle. But the major is the Holy Quran. The difference is other miracles, other prophets have also the miracles. Other prophets have the miracle and the message. For example, the Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, Allah give him some miracle about the magic. But this magic is basically to help to confirm that message for the Torah. Which teachings are given in Torah, these miracles will help to them so people can verify these things. People can affect these things. Also, the Hazrat Isa alayhi salam have some miracle which are mostly related with the art of medicine. In that way, their miracles are separate and their message is separate. But in case of the Holy Quran, Allah combined this thing. In the Quran, at the same time, it is miracle and at the same time it is message. And as concerned about the Quran, the message, it is a living miracle. Living miracle. In this type of the Quran revealed about 1400 years ago. But this Quran is miracle up till day of judgment. Everybody now, we can touch it, we can read it, we can feel it. In everything we can do in the Quran. We can touch it, we can read it, we can feel it. So we can feel these things. For example, one Qari is reciting the Quran in a good way, definitely you will feel something at that time. If you are knowing the meaning of some ayat of the Quran, for example, if you know what is the glad tidings for the muttaqeen and what are the warnings for that, these will affect on your body. So in that way, the Quran is basically a living miracle. And in that, it is miracle and message are together in this book. But the previous prophets, their miracle was separate and their message was separate at that time. But all these things, when we are really getting the benefit, there is one beautiful hadith of the Hazur sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This hadith is, خَيْرُكُمْ مَنْ تَعَلَّمَ الْقُرْآنَ وَعَلَّمَهُ. Very short hadith. I will request every person should memorize this hadith. خَيْرُكُمْ, the best of you. The best of you. In Arabic, the word khair, it's sometimes used for comparative, but sometimes it is used for superlative degree. So here it is used as a superlative degree. The best of you is those who learn the Quran and teaches it. And two things is needed here, learning and teaching. Everybody like to become best. I like become best. You like to become best. But how we can make best? It only told our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam how we can make the best. The only thing is the best, we have ta'allam al-Qur'ana, we can learn the Quran, we can teach the Quran. So in this learning and teaching, the recitation of the Quran, memorization of the Quran, understanding of the Quran, then act upon the teachings of the Quran. Then we have to transmit this information to the others. All these things are covered for that. It is a great incentive for this. We have to remember this one. Normally it happened in our life when we have to start any type of the project, any type of the work. So first we are thinking it might be hard for me. Might be I cannot do it. The other person can do it, I cannot do it. But when we read the ayat of the Quran, it is Surat Qamar. Allah repeated this ayat 4 times in the same surah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ فَهَلْ مِن مُدَّكِرٍ. Allah make this book easy. Easy لِلذِّكْرِ, for remembrance. In which like to get the advice from the Quran or the remembrance, Allah make easy for us. And the last part is فَهَلْ مِن مُدَّكِرٍ. It is an interrogative here. If anybody like to get any advice, if anybody like to get any remembrance, so Allah make easy for that. It is a great encouragement for that. If we have to think, we have to spend our time to learn the Quran, but Allah is telling, Allah make easy for the understanding of this Quran. The same ayat was repeated the 4 times in the same surah. Now we will little bit talk here. The last point is why study Quranic Arabic. When we are talking about the Quran, why we are important to learn the Arabic language for that. The reason is that there are different tafasirs are available. Definitely these are great people, they did a great job. But we cannot compare with the Quran. Quran is pure word, divine, and the noble words. All translations, in any language they have translation, it is a man-made effort for that. There is one great scholar, Maulana Abdul Majid Dariyabadi. He wrote a tafsir of the Quran. But he mentioned in the preface of that book, that the Quran is the most difficult book to translate. It is not the easy book to translate. The Quran has so much broad meaning. No other language can absorb this whole meaning for that. But normally, in that way, there is the importance to learn the Quran so that directly we can read it and getting the benefit from that. Also, we are familiar about the word Al-Quranul Hakim. We always say Quran with wisdom. Al-Quranul Kareem. We are saying these words are using. But in the Quran, about 11 times, Allah mentioned about the Arabic Quran. And in the whole Quran, Allah mentioned about 11 times that this book, this Quran, is Arabic Quran. I wrote few ayats of that here. Inna anzalnahu Qur'anan Arabiyan la'allakum ta'qilun. Allah mentioned here Qur'anan Arabiyan. The Quran is, which is Arabic Quran, so that you can understand. Then Allah say, Inna ja'alnahu Qur'anan Arabiyan la'allakum ta'qilun. Here again word used, Qur'anan Arabiyan is used here. Then the next ayat, Qur'anan Arabiyan ghayra zi iwajin la'allahum yattaqun. This Arabic Quran which has no deviation, so that you will become muttaqi, you can become God-fearing person for that. I mentioned all these references, which 11 references here. I didn't write the whole ayats there, but if anybody is interested, they can go in the open in the book and they can see how much importance of these type of the Quranic Arabic. We can listen, we can learn the Arabic language so that we can get the real meaning of the Quran. I will give you one example. Okay, sometime when we see in how the people are doing the efforts in this world for doing two different things. There is one person, his name is Maurice Bucaille. Maurice Bucaille, he was a French he is the doctor and also he is researcher. That person, the Maurice Bucaille, which was living in France, that person was the doctor there and doing the research. He got a research project. He got the research project how the body of the pharaoh is preserved and still it is in Egypt. He started the research work on that one. So when he is doing the research on the mummies of the pharaoh, how the body of the pharaoh is preserved. So one time, one Muslim met with Maurice Bucaille. That person mentioned to Bucaille, which doing your research, it is a good thing, but it is also mentioned in our Holy Quran. In the Holy Quran, he mentioned this ayat. It is ayat in the Surah Yunus, 92 ayat. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. فَالْيَوْمَ نُنَجِّيكَ بِبَدَنِكَ لِتَكُونَ لِمَنْ خَلْفَكَ آيَةً. And Allah is telling in this ayat, we preserved your body so that the succeeding people will come, so they will get a lesson from you. When this Maurice Bucaille heard about that, he was astonished. 1400 years ago, this book was revealed. How they know after 1400 years what will happen? So he developed a little bit interest in that. Then he read the translation of the Quran. After translation of the Quran, reading the Quran, he doesn't feel good. He told, I like to understand the Quran. Keep in mind, he was at 50 years of age. 50 years of age in 1970. And that person is Christian. He is a Christian, 50 years of the age, but he decided to learn the Arabic language. When he learned the Arabic language, and after that, he read the Quran. He understood it. Then after that, he wrote a book. He is the author of the book. The Bible, the Quran, and modern science. Here is Basically the concept of this Maurice Bucaille, why I am giving to you today. The reason is that sometimes we are saying, I am an old person now, I cannot do it. But brothers and sisters, only thing is mainly need the determination. If we have to determine, we ask from Allah, Allah will make easy for us. That person is Christian in the faith. Age is 50 years. So he learned the Arabic language only to read the Quran for that. I am Muslim. You are Muslim. We are knowing why we are coward. Why we are not trying to start the learning of language. So inshallah, Allah will make easy for us. When the Maurice Bucaille can learn that at 50 years this Arabic language, so we are a Muslim. So inshallah Allah will make barakah for that. So then we can get it. Now I will give you a few examples more. Basically, why we are studying the Quranic Arabic. What is we are getting from it. But definitely, first is the beauty of language. For example, the Shakespeare is an English poet. If you will translate the poetry of the Shakespeare in other languages, you will get might be you are getting the meaning, but you are not getting the same beauty for that. So in this way, if you have to other languages, any poets, so you can translate in other language. Might be you will get the meaning, but you are losing the beauty for language. So just like in Quran, in case of the Quran, if we like to get the emphasis of that book, so then we have tried to maintain that language. It will definitely help it. But when we are learning the Arabic language, it will not help only to understanding the Quran, but it will also help in our everyday salah. Okay, our salah is every day in Arabic language. If we are more familiar about the words, about the meanings of our salah, so inshallah the quality of our salah will be improved in that situation. Also there is some things when we are little bit talking about something about the vocabulary. In vocabulary, some words we are using in Arabic language, but when we are translating sometime in the other languages, we have short of words there. We have no word sometime there. So in that way, real meaning we are not getting. For example, there is one ayat in the Quran. Kullu nafsin za'iqatul maut. Kullu nafsin za'iqatul maut. Keep in mind here the word is used nafsin. Nafsin. There is another ayat in the Quran. That ayat is وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الرُّوحِ وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الرُّوحِ. And they ask about the ruh. What is ruh? This ayat is from 1785. But sometime when we are reading the translation, for the nafs, their translation is soul. Ruh, also the translation is soul. But these are two different words. كل نفس ذائقة الموت ويسألونك عن الروح. So sometimes the same words are used, the soul or the soul, in different meanings. But if we know, if we're reading the Arabic, so we will feel how the difference between that. What is the nafs and what is the ruh? There is another example about the word is used infant. Infant. And sometimes they used infanon. Infant, infanon, nafon, unafon. Unafon. Anafiyo. Anafiyo. Basharun. Basharun. Infiya. Infiya. These all words are used in Quran. But when we are translating human being. We have no other word. But definitely when there is the word, if the bashar is used, when the word is infan is used, so definitely there is some difference between that. Why the bashar is used, why the infant used, why the infan is used. But these things are only giving a initiative to us that we have to learn the Arabic language. When we are reading the Arabic language, then we are getting the real understanding of the Quran. I can give you another example. There is two words are used in the Quran. Fuad and qalb. Fuad and qalb. Both have the meaning, if you read the translation, heart. Fuad and qalb. There is one ayat in the Quran, لِنُثَبِّتَ بِهِ فُعَادَكَ وَرَتَّلْنَاهُ تَرْتِيلًا. Here Allah used the word fuad in this ayat. But there is a very common dua which is in the Surah Al Imran. رَبَّنَا لَا تُزِغْ قُلُوبَنَا بَعْدَ إِذْ هَدَيْتَنَا وَهَبْ لَنَا مِن لَدُنْكَ رَحْمَةً. In this, Allah used qulub. In qulub is used and fuad is used. But there is another ayat in the Quran. It is in the Surah Al-Qasas, the ayat number 10. In the same ayat, Allah used the word fuad and Allah used the same word qulub there. But when we are reading the translation, only one word is written there, heart. How we can get these understandings? So inshallah, if we'll try, if you make effort for the Arabic language, these things will be clarified for that. In addition to the vocabulary, the other thing for the language is grammar. Grammar. So now I will give you few examples of the grammar when we read the Quran, how we are feeling the difference if we know little bit knowledge of the grammar. The first few examples, how the changes in the words. How the changes develop in the words. There are two names we are very much familiar, every Muslim. One is Harf Jalala, Allah. Other is Muhammadun sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Muhammadun. But when we are reading every day these words, the ending of the words are changing in different situations. For example, when we read Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, here the word is Lillahi. In the ending of the word is with kasra here, Lillahi. When we are reading in the Quran, Inna Allah ala kulli shay'in qadir. Inna Allah ala kulli shay'in qadir. Here is Inna Allah. The Allah has fatha here. At the end, there is a fatha there. If we say Wallahu, Ghaniyyun Halim. Here is Inna Allahi. Kasra is here. But in this situation, Fatha is here. Inna Allah. Here is Dhamma is here. Kasra, Fatha, Dhamma. The word, it is the word of Allah or Harf Jalala. This Harf Jalala, the word of the Allah is the same. But at this stage, we are reading with Kasra. We are reading with Fatha. We are reading with Dhamma. But definitely there is some logic behind that. When we are reading the translation, we don't know why these things are going on. But if you know the Arabic language, so day by day, these things will be clarified to you. Also, we are using the very common word, Muhammadun sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When we are reading the kalma tayyaba, so in that we are reading Muhammadun Rasulullahi. When we are reading Durood Sharif, Ala Muhammadin. When we are saying Azan, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan. Muhammadan Rasulullahi. Here you can feel Okay, when we are reading kalma, on the kalma, tanween is there, but tanween with dhamma. When we are reading the Durood Sharif, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin. And when we are calling the azan, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan, here we are putting the fatha there. And also we are adding the alif here. Can you see here? Okay, when you read the kalma, there is no alif there. When you read the Durood Sharif, no alif is there. But when you are reading the azan, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan, why this alif is here? But these information, we are reading, mashallah, every day these things. But when we are not pondering it, so it will not give you the clarity for that. These were common examples. Everybody know, mashallah, these things. But sometimes we are not thinking how these things are going on here. Now I will give you another example of the grammar, which is about the negation and absolute negation. Absolute negation. Negation means we are negating only one thing. The absolute negation means we are negating the whole community. The whole community. In Arabic it is called lie, nafi, jins. This whole jins, whole community is nafi is here. Negation is simply done by lie, nafi. Lie, nafi. So we are reading every day. MashaAllah, kalma. La ilaha. La ilaha. Basically the word was ilahun. But here we are negating, there is no ilah. No worthy of worship. We are completely negating the whole jinn for that. So here when we are reading, it is absolute negation is there. Also when we are reading the Surah Baqarah, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. Here also la raiba is complete, absolute negation. There is no any type of the doubt in this book. So due to that reason, after the la, so there is no tanween is there. La ilaha, la raiba. But when there is a simple negation is there, then you can read wala khawfun. Wala khawfun alayhim. Wala khawfun alayhim. It is used in Surah Baqarah, ayat number 112. So from that we can judge that after the la, if the tanween is coming, it is a simple negation. But if after the la, tanween is not coming, then we see it is absolute negation. So how many times we are reading the Quran? On every page we are feeling these things, but we cannot feel them because we don't understand them. Also, there is another point in which the differentiation of the general versus specific. If we have to do the differentiation of the general or the specific words, how we can differentiate? For example, if you ask to any person here, what is the Arabic word we used for night? Everyone will say laylun. Laylun is used, laylun, naharun, layl for night, nihar for day. But when we are using the word Laylatul Qadri, how this from where this ta came here? So normally we are used وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَغْشَى. We are using the word this layl. But when we are saying Laylatul Qadr, so when we are putting this ta at the end on the layl, this ta is called ta'i wahdaniyat in Arabic. Ta'i wahdaniyat. Or it is the ta for individuality. Ta for individuality. In here we are talking about the general line. But when we are specifying the night, Laylatul Qadr, then we are adding the ta at the end. Also in the Quran, Shajaratun, also this ta is added there. Until this is ta'i wahdaniyat, ta for individuality. It is the difference between that. Also, the next difference is of the calling ladder. Every language has some calling ladder. Calling ladder means when we have to call some person. In English we can use O. We can call any person to attract that person. And also in case of the Arabic, there is also the calling ladder. Very common calling letter is in Arabic is Ya. But when we read in the Quran, the Ya is used in a different way. For example, Ya Ibrahim. When we say in the Quran, it is used in 11 and 76 ayat. Ya Ibrahim. But when we are using, the other situation sometimes happen. Ya ayyuhan nabiyyu. It is 33 surah first ayat. Ya is the same. For Ibrahim we only use the ya. But here we added another word, ayyuha. Ya ayyuhan nabiyyu. For calling letter. And sometime we are reading a third version. Ya ayyatuhan nafsu. If the simple word is used in Arabic, simple Ya Ibrahim. If that word is starting with Alif Lam, An-Nabi, basically the word Alif Lam is there. When with Alif Lam, so then Ayyuha is added there. Due to that reason, it always say Ya Ayyuhan Nabiyyu. But here the word An-Nafs, it is in Arabic language, it is called feminine. For the feminine word, this ta is added there. Now it is called Ya ayyatuhan nafsul mutma'inna. So it means that we are reading every day. Ya Ibrahimu, Ya ayyuhan nabiyyu, Ya ayyatuhan nafsu. But there is some logic behind that. How these changes are developing. The other point is about emphasis. Emphasis. Sometimes when we talk about anything, we like to put more emphasis so that the listener can feel which I am saying, it is an important thing I am telling to them. Very common example in the Quran is this one. It is used in Surah Luqman. Inna shirka. Inna shirka la zulmun. Azimun. Here, the word inna means indeed. It is for emphasis here. But in this sentence, this lam is also for emphasis. In a simple words, you can say that there is a double emphasis in this sentence. Double emphasis. For the inna, if there is an emphasis, then la is attached here. This la is called emphatic prefix. Emphatic prefix. But when we are reading the translation of this ayat, indeed, shirk is great injustice. Indeed, shirk is great injustice. Okay, every language has some limitation. In English, we cannot put two emphasis at that time. But in Arabic, if you know the Arabic, in shirka la zulmun azimun. In nice emphasis there and this lam emphasis is there. Double emphasis is there. The same example is going on in Surah Al-Asr. Innal insana. Innal insana lafi khusr. In this situation, also the same pattern. The one is inna and other is for lam. It is also double emphasis here. Indeed, the mankind is certainly in great loss. But when we are reading the translation, we are missing these things there. Because every language has own limitation for that. These are the few examples to why the importance to know the Arabic language. Now at the end, we are doing the strategy. To learn Quranic Arabic. So what is the strategy for that? As concerned learning of a foreign language, when we have learning of any foreign language, normally when a child is born, first he is getting the language of the mom, which if the mother is speaking, it becomes the native language for that child. After that, when the child is little bit grow up, he is going to the neighborhood, going to the environment. So he is getting the knowledge of the language which in the neighborhood people are talking. And after that, he will go for education, for school, college. When he go to the school and college, then he has learned the language of the educational language. To different stages we are getting the language. But whenever we are getting any type of the foreign language, basically in the language, there are 4 points are there. One point is reading. Other one is reading, listening, writing, and speaking. And whenever you know any new language, learning language, 4 things you have to do. What you're learning reading, you're learning listening, you're learning writing, you're learning speaking there. But if we categorize these 4 things, so we can categorize into 2 categories. One category is called input. It is basically input. Input means taking in and processing the information. Taking in and processing the information. Other part is output. You're throwing out. In input, reading, listening. When you're reading, when you're listening, you're taking something inside, then your brain will develop to analyze this thing. It means the inputs are always easy. Input is always easy. The output, the writing and the speaking, you have to throw out something outside, and it is always difficult. And when we are learning the language, 2 inputs we are learning, 2 output is learning. But the good thing is that when our objective is to learn the Quranic language, these things are not required. Quran is already written, There is no need to writing anything. You have to additional writing. You don't need any writing skill for that. And also you have speaking means you have to not develop your own sentences. You have to not develop your own words for that. So it means that the output part is not required to you. You have to only, your half of the effort is gone here. The half of the effort you have to do only reading. Also we can prioritize here. First, our objective is reading. Reading means that when we read the ayat of the Quran, it will go the information to my brain, I have to time to analyze it. It is our first phase of the learning. The first phase of learning is that we will try to more familiar with the reading purpose. And the second phase, about the listening of the Quran is mainly concerned with the salat. When the Imam is reading in the salat, our objective is that when the Imam will read the Quran, we can read it, we can enjoy the salat. But Imam is reading with own pace there. So due to that reason, at the initial stage, you have to develop the skill of to understand the reading. The inshallah, at one time you will reach that type of the skill that you are able to, when you are listening, you can grasp what is going on. So it is a good point for here, for strategy for the learning Quranic Arabic. Out of the 4 factors, our first priority is reading only here. So inshallah, one day will come, you will able to listen, you can understand during the salat, during the tarawih, the Quran. After this little bit of strategy, next is the steps. Steps to learn Quranic Arabic. Quranic Arabic. In case of the language, 2 things are needed. One is called vocabulary, other is called grammar. Grammar has some set rules, some principles, you have to learn it. Vocabulary is basically, you have never seen any person in your life who is remembering the dictionary. No. The vocabulary you are getting with the passage of the time. With the passage of the time, when you are familiar about the rules of the grammar, with time, the vocabulary will be increasing. It is also called Lughato Iraab. Vocabulary means Lughato Iraab. Lughat means vocabulary and grammar. And also in case of the Arabic, it is called Sarfi Qaid. It is dealing with Sarf, and it is Nahwi Qaid. Nahwi Qaid, yani Sarfu Nahw. In Arabic, most common term is used Sarfu Nahw. It means vocabulary and grammar. And sometimes people say Lughato Iraab. The next point is, when we are talking about these things, in few weeks ago, I was delivering a lecture on understanding of the Quran in one university. At the end of my lecture, one student asked me a question. That person asked me a question. Your lecture is very good, your motivational lecture is good, we have to understand the Arabic language, it is very much important. But I am very much busy in my studies, in my exams. How I can do it? But I told to that gentleman, it is a very common question among the Muslims, all Muslims. Every Muslim, either he is a student, either he is a businessman, either he is an employee, he always say, I am very busy, I have no time to read these things. These things are only the job of the scholars, the job of the imams, job of the muftis. I give a simple answer to that guy. You can give only spare 20 minutes a day. I gave him in the answer only you can spare 20 minutes a day. If you spare the 20 minutes a day, inshallah, after 1 year, you will feel what the level of you are. But only thing is, we need the dedication. We have to ask from Allah. Allah will help us. This knowledge will give you the pleasure. This knowledge will you succeed in this world. So in that, only thing is dedication and persistence is needed. I asked him only give 20 minutes. After that, you will get that achievement. Now I will give you my motto. What is the motto of this thing? How we can do it? In simple words, how we can describe it? Motto or slogan. This project, how we can run it? The simple thing is, learn Arabic for Quran. First, you start, get some basic information about the rules for Quran, which is used for Quran. Learn Arabic for Quran. When you are familiar about the basic things, then you have to start the Quran. Then it becomes through Quran. Through Quran. Through Quran means when you apply that rules on the first ayat of the Quran. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. So when you apply that grammar there, okay, one is the theoretical knowledge, one is the applied knowledge. Here basically learn Arabic for Quran, this part is basic knowledge. But here through Quran means applied knowledge. Those people are perfect which have the basic knowledge and which have the applied knowledge. Our motto is learn Arabic for Quran, through Quran. So inshallah, day by day, little bit effort is there, but at the end of this class now, I request for every person, embrace the strategic thinking. Embrace the strategic thinking. Okay, every person has the different conditions, different environments. He know better than that how much time he can spend. So inshallah, if you make strategic thinking today, it is the main object of this talk today. So inshallah, in future, so we will start the Quran, inshallah, ayat by ayat. So then we will discuss the grammatical analysis. So inshallah, with that, the understanding of the Quran will be increased. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.